with the mindset that you may have right now, you may not be able to actually build discipline, time management, or consistency at all. Sorry, but I don't think you can. And it's not because it's genuinely hard. It's not because you're lazy or distracted in general. It's just that you can't hold up a habit that you don't yet understand. Let me put up an example here. Let's say this person right here, right, has never really been disciplined, never really been consistent with himself, never really built a habit of time management. Like, let's just say he never heard any of it, right? And let someone else introduce them to those topics. When that person hears all of these things about discipline, about being consistent, about then they start to build it with just that snippet of information that they've been given. Probably know how this, and they maybe understand a snippet of consistency and time management. But when they actually try to practice without the knowledge of what they're actually doing, that can lead to more time being wasted and just you not really building the habits that you want. And and this doesn't just lead into like discipline or consistency. It leads to every single habit that you're trying to build. If what you're doing with the habit, how are you going to function? When you think of the word consistency, what's the first thing that pops in your mind? I want you to answer this on your own. Because usually it's being on time, being on point, being just focused every single day, which is not wrong. Building good habits needs genuine consistency over time. But most people just take the broad example, the example that they just get, right? They just run with it. That they don't really look into it, about how it really does, how it really affects. And those people may not be prepared to deal with the actual case of the habit they're building. Just taking a simple example of whatever habit you're trying to build, especially for discipline, harm your progress instead of aiding you whatsoever. What I'm mostly talking about here is a Dunning-Kruger effect. You may know what it is, but if you don't, it's where most people have this sort of bias, this sort of they think they're way better at a skill or habit when they really know very little information about it at all. That's why most people fail when it comes to building these good habits of discipline, consistency, of time management. Morally, they think they don't need to know everything because it seems self-explanatory just based off their names. But then over time, it gets harder and harder to they don't really know or understand how it works and can create their own version of it, which is opposite of what it really is. I fell into this before, and it almost made me think about why my discipline, my consistency felt different than other people who had it way better. At that time, I only looked at it at the broad example of discipline, didn't really look into it. Those people that had better discipline than me, they understood it. I didn't understand it all. I was doing it because I heard it online. I didn't understand it fully whatsoever. And I don't want that being you when actually building one of these habits for yourself. It can make you think you're making progress when in reality, you're just walking in a loop that you don't even see at all. So let me help you. To actually build consistency, time management, and discipline, you need to understand how they will work in your day to day life. Keyword your. Most people get this idea of these three habits and think that they have to follow someone. That's not what it's meant to be. Of course, you can be inspired by a routine, but it's meant for you to actually build, to see, and to understand how you can use it to your advantage and what you're building, to what you're actually doing for yourself. If you're trying to be consistent with understanding and building your physique, right, you don't just have to have the same three workouts to do daily. We can spend 10 to 20 minutes every day researching different workouts and looking into what those workouts can do, and whether it may be to blow up your chest, to make your forearms bigger, increase strength. Understanding what workouts you're doing can help you consistency of working out daily. So one day, we can have the physique that you've by being consistent. Time management. If you want time management to work with you, see how you go throughout your day normally, and then plan out at what times you will do certain tasks that you usually do. You're not focusing on someone else's routine. You're just improving your routine with these habits. Most people have it the other way around. To hold up consistency, discipline, and you need to understand that you need to plan out how it is going to work in your life so that you can slowly implement it day after day. I'll put a video up here explaining how you can slowly build habits, but you mainly need to understand how it is going to affect you and how is it going to work for you and how you're going to do it. That's it. If you don't understand what you're building, the results you'll get will become confusing for you. All in all, that's all that I had to say for today. So make sure to work out when needed to, understand why you're building these habits, and be consistent with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you, my friend, in the next one. Peace.